Don't park your spirit. Find the path beyond harmony.
We are so powerful as beings. Nothing can tell you your path except for you. Once you start on this path, you can't turn around. Don't park your spirit there. You did it. You chose it. That's what you wanted. Because every choice you make affects your life. If you believe it, things are going to work for you because they parked their spirit. Wherever you go, there you are. I realized I was following guidance as far back as a child when I look back to when I was in probably 4th grade and my dad asked me if I wanted to go with him to Blue Diamond. And that was a big to-do. We were living in Las Vegas and I loved to go to Blue Diamond. It was a little village in the mountains 13 miles away from our house. But my best friend Tinkerbell lived there. And so of course I always wanted to go see her. But this day when he asked me if I wanted to go, I said no. And I could not figure out why. It blew me away that I said no to something that of course I wanted to do, but I did it because somewhere in my gut, I knew I had to say no. As it turned out, when he was coming home from Blue Diamond that day, my dad wrapped his Super Bee around a telephone pole, completely crushing the passenger side. It was a good idea to stay home that time. Of course he was drinking. He was always drinking though. That was just who he was. So following guidance has been something that has really helped me through life. And guidance is that place that speaks to you through your gut. When guidance comes to you, you have choices to make. Usually it's a fork in the road. And there's the option that is the obvious. That's you follow the money or you follow the guarantees, or the one that for some reason feels better. It's to go down the unknown road that will take you where? You don't know where it's going to take you. So most of us, we follow the money. When I was married to a man I'll share a story about next, when it came to the point to where I knew I had to leave this man, I kind of drew a line in the sand. And I said to myself, the next time he threatens me with divorce, if you do this, we're getting a divorce. If you do that, we're getting a divorce. Then I was leaving. Even though he always threatened to throw me out, I was living far away from anybody I knew with him. But I thought, you know what? My line in the sand. The next time he says we're getting a divorce, I'm leaving. We went to a karaoke bar and I sang a few songs, had the best night of my life, and we got home that night. He said, "Did you have fun?" I said, "Oh," I'm like, "Of course, it was awesome. I used to sing professionally. I love singing." And he said, "Good. Because if you ever sing in public again, we're getting a divorce." The moment those words came out of his mouth, I felt a huge weight lifted off of me. It was literally lightening my load. I felt lighter instantly. And then at that moment, I went to bed and I slept better than I had in the last 5 years because I knew what I had to do. So the next day I did what I was always afraid of him doing, throwing me out, but I did it because I had to. I followed my gut. And at that point, I didn't realize that everything would always work out. So I lived in regret and memory, and I wallowed in pain forever and ever. But I did what I needed to do. Fast forward a few years, the same company that I was working for when I lived with this man, I'd worked for them, 7 years, something like that. And I was working out of a home office in Ohio. And I got a call that I now, after my position had been all over the country, I needed to come work out of the corporate headquarters in Rochester Hills, Michigan. Yeah, no, I'm not living in Detroit. I'm sorry. So I said, no, I'm not moving to Detroit. And they said, you don't understand. You don't come here, you're not going to have a job. And I said, you don't understand. I'm not moving to Detroit. So I hung up the phone, now gainfully unemployed, and I felt this huge weight lifted off of my shoulders. It lightens you up. I can't even describe it. The sure thing was Detroit. The sure thing was move. The sure thing was the money. We follow the money as humans. We do that because we don't know that by saying no, we jump off another cliff to the abyss, to the unknown, and we always land on our feet. We land in a much better place than where we were. Guidance comes to us all the time. When you're faced with some kind of a decision, I know as humans, the first thing we want to do is go with the security, but you really need to think about it. How you can weigh this out is we have our emotions guide us everything. How something makes you feel is everything. The thought of moving to Detroit felt icky. Who wants to live in Detroit? Sorry if you live in Detroit. But it felt icky. The thought of me going to Detroit felt icky. So I always, even then when I didn't know what I was doing, I knew I would not like that option. So I said no to it, which meant automatically I opened up the yes, which was a different channel. Try and find how you feel when you're faced with a fork in the road. The sure thing or the unknown? How do they make you feel? You need to go for the one that makes you feel good. If you can't feel good because you don't know what it is, find out the one that makes you feel icky. Staying with a man who was threatening me with divorce was icky. Going to Detroit when there's no way I want to live there was icky. Follow the path that feels better, and it will take you somewhere you really want to go. You need to trust in your guidance system because nothing can tell you your path except for you and your gut. Nothing and no one. Don't ask other people. Do not take a poll. Do not post a survey on Facebook. You need to go inside and find the answers. And that's where you do find the answers. You need to take the time to shut down your mind, to shut off all your screens, and to go inside in silence and think what feels better. Go for what feels good. And it's going to take you down the path of jumping off many, many cliffs. But those cliffs, I will guarantee you, every single time, if you're going with your gut and you don't follow the sure thing, you jump off that cliff, your parachute's going to open. It's going to take you to a better place every single time. You can mark my word on that. But you can't be a chicken. You can't be afraid to take huge leaps of faith. If you don't take them, you're not going to go anywhere. I'm going to share what I did a few years ago. My daughter was off to college finally. My husband was working full-time, plus he was in politics, so he was never around. And I commuted at least 45 minutes to get to work every day. I came home from work one day, the house was empty, big old house. I just had this sudden guidance that I needed to, and the guidance was find a place in Olympia near where I work. What the guidance was not divorce your husband. It was not leave your husband. It was go near work. Because why should I commute? He's never there. And so I did. I got a place near my work. So I moved to Olympia. That year living in Olympia was the most profound year of my life. And I realized too, I didn't know why I needed to leave the house. The house always had something going on. There was a computer, there was TV, there was always something going on, music. When I got to this place in Olympia, I set all the conditions to my liking. I had the temperature the way I liked it. I had TV off all the time. I had candles. I had what I needed to fill that space for me. That move to Olympia was so profound in so many ways. Listen to your gut when you're faced with a crossroad so you can make a decision based on you and what your next step is moving forward. Look at these forks in the road as your opportunity to put down another step in front of you, paving the path to the destiny that you set for yourself to find in this lifetime. In the next video, I'm going to go backwards a little bit and share a little bit about who we are and why we're here and why we come to this planet. It's powerful stuff. Stay tuned. See you next time.